Hi there, my name is Amarah Parks. I'm a musician among other things, and today is Christmas Eve, so I thought I would be festive. And I'm in a really good mood today. I've been in a good mood for a while, so praise the Lord, He is good. Today, we're going to be doing a first reaction type video, and today I'll be reacting to a Modesty video by Classically Abby. Now, I personally do identify as a physically conservative Christian woman as well, so you'd think that these videos would pertain to me and that I would probably agree with many of the points. I think this video has been advertised to people despite their search history because all kinds of people have been reacting to her videos saying this has nothing to do with me, and it's kind of funny that it ended up on my feed. She clearly has been pushing her videos a lot with monetary advertisements, so eventually, after seeing it on my feed for so long, I decided to click on it and watch. My first impression of Abby was she's very by the book, she's very clearly conservative, and also there seems to be some kind of disconnect between her and the camera. I don't know if it's a discomfort she has in front of the camera, but she doesn't inject any emotion really in her videos, and they feel very robotic. So it's hard for me to watch and feel like I can engage in that kind of video. Nothing against her, maybe that's just how she is, but I didn't sense any connection happening in between the screen and myself, which is kind of something I think YouTubers should strive for. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into watching the first clip, and then I'll let you know my thoughts.
Hello, beautiful ladies, and welcome to today's video, where we're going to be talking about modesty, why it's important, and why it doesn't mean looking like garbage. Modesty. It's a concept that some women truly hate. It's also a concept that a lot of women embrace. First off, what is it? Modesty is dressing in a way that doesn't sexualize your body.
So when I first saw this video, my first thought was, why are you so mad? There definitely is a sense of conviction in her voice, and she wants to hit you into shape, I guess. And automatically I'm very resistant to that kind of energy, and I think a lot of other people are too. So I don't know if it was the best choice for this video, but we're gonna proceed. The other big thing for me is the definition of modesty. I feel like Christians especially misdefine modesty so sadly. Modesty is not your clothing, although your clothing will be affected by modesty. Modesty has so much more to do with being, it's almost like a fruit of the spirit. It's about being humble and respectful and not flaunting or boasting. So it has nothing to do with your attire, though it will affect your attire. I think of it as a character quality, and I think it needs to be thought of that way a lot more, because it doesn't matter how modestly you dress, you may not possess that trait. Christians get it really mixed up and they miss out on the full picture of what modesty actually is.
Who do you want to be desirable to? And do you want to be noticed for being beautiful or being sexy? Modesty is about treating your body with respect. It's about recognizing reality, that men are visual creatures, not emotional ones.
Okay, so first of all, I want to start off by saying she's speaking to Christian conservative women. I think that's something that misses a lot of people when they react to this. I should hope that she's aware that the modesty standards that conservative Christian women might hold do not apply to people who don't have those views. I'm pretty sure she's aware of that, so I don't believe she's pushing this on other people, but she is kind of having a conversation with people like me, a conservative Christian. That second point really gets me frustrated, and that's the point that she made, that men are visual creatures, not emotional ones. This is a flaw in conservative Christianity and conservatism in general. Men have been told for so long that they are not emotional, that they suppress their emotions and are not trained to become emotionally mature. And there's such a lack of emotional maturity in young men these days. I should tell you that every human experiences emotions, and emotions are important for human life. Men should be encouraged to be emotional, but not unhealthily. And likewise with women. Women should not be encouraged to be unhealthily emotional, but to a healthy degree, we all should feel and express and process through our emotions. Also, on the visual side of things, she's saying that men are visual creatures, implying that women are not. And being a woman who definitely, I believe I am a visual creature, and sometimes that's a problem for me being abstinent, but I can see things and have unhealthy thoughts in my mind about that. It is not limited to men. It's something that we all need to work on as individuals, and I just hate the separation being made between men and women in that area too. Men and women are different. Yes, that's what I believe, but we are never called to be less than who we can be through Jesus, which includes development emotionally, and which includes understanding that there are many different aspects to people, and sometimes stereotypes are not always true.
And it's about dressing in public in a way that's appropriate for everyone, from children to grandparents to moms and dads. Modesty is a way for you to respect yourself and respect others. When you go to the park and you're surrounded by families with children, is it fair to dress in a way that's distracting? No. Instead, dress in a way that's appropriate for the occasion.
So I would definitely have to agree with Abby on this one. This doesn't necessarily have to apply to just Christian people, but just an understanding that there is a time and a place for different types of expression and attire. I personally, as a Christian conservative woman, I definitely approach modesty with consistency. So that means that the length of shorts I wear is the same as the shorts on my swimsuit. Like, that's the shortest I'll go. I won't wear a swimsuit bottom that's typical because I personally feel uncomfortable with that. So in a way, like, I agree with that point for sure, that you should dress appropriate to the occasion. And I guess that could vary depending on your family and how you operate, and that's okay.
More men will think of you as a sex object if you dress like one than if you dress like a lady. Does that mean you should look like garbage when you meet someone? Absolutely not. You should look attractive. But if you're dressing immodestly, you're not leaving anything to his imagination.
So it is definitely a fact that everyone is probably aware of, that if you put yourself out there in a more of a sexual manner, you will attract men who might mistreat you sexually. It doesn't mean that's okay what they're doing, but it's just a fact. And so we know as women, and really as anyone, if you dress in a way that could attract that danger to you, you have to be aware that that danger may be attracted to you. So that is an aspect of modesty, but it's not the focus. Leading on to her next point, I think it's very frustrating that the conservative Christian community fails to keep Christian men accountable. There's such a lack of accountability in the conservative Christian community, and not even just the conservative Christian community, but other equally conservative religious communities. My stance as a Christian is that Jesus has paved the way and shown us how we should live, and that includes becoming more and more like him and looking to him and seeking him. That includes developing ourselves, dying to self, and reflecting more of him. So that includes for men and women to keep a rein on those thoughts, and eventually for those thoughts to no longer plague us because we have a purer mind. That's really important for our community to teach, but it really fails to teach that a lot. Also, it fails to understand that women can have the same temptations and the same problems. The only difference is we are seen as more vulnerable. So in a sense, the modesty movement is an attempt to protect us from dangers, but let's just keep going.
But when you dress immodestly, men are wired to have one thing on the brain. When you go to a work meeting, do you want to have cleavage and legs showing? No. You want the people there to listen to you and engage with your ideas, not your sexuality.
So this is kind of, again, touching on the point of dressing appropriately for the occasion, but also the other thing that was brought in is this idea that if you are dressed or you look in a way that is attractive to a man, that they will be distracted and that they will not see you for your personality and your wisdom. I would say in many cases that's true, and unfortunately so, but I would also say that that's not something we should conform our ideas and thought patterns to, because For example, someone who's very beautiful, even if they are dressed modestly, they will attract men's attention because men will notice them. They'll notice their face. Even an attractive personality can be enough to distract a young man from the focus. And not just a young man, but anyone really. Like, if I notice someone's attractive personality, I might notice that. I might notice their features. Like, it's not simply limited to sexual parts of our bodies, though sexual parts of our bodies do have a power, and that's something that we shouldn't be naive to, we should understand. But I just don't like going to the extremes of describing it that way.
But in today's day and age, where everything goes, it's hard to know what's modest and what's not. Women like JLo and Shakira dancing in sparkly leotards and being praised for their bodies doesn't really help either. Because at 50 years old, do you want to be trying to be praised for your body or praised for your family? For your body or for your wisdom?
So I'm very curious to see what her idea of modesty is in action. I feel that a lot of videos like this fail to address many gray areas in the community, but rather resort to these extreme ideas and not addressing the in-between. I think that's very unhealthy. I think it creates a lot of tension. It creates a lot of people on the outside to judge us conservative Christians, thinking that we have no heart, we have no emotions. I think that classically Abby should put a little bit more emotion into her videos and use less cliche statements, less overused, commonly used statements to describe these things. I think she should come in with a fresh perspective that is unique to her, and I think she's just failing to do so at this time, at least in this video. Of course, I feel that most of us want to be known for traits that are lasting. It's okay to be beautiful though, and it is okay for people to think of that when they think of you. Oh yeah, she was beautiful. Yeah, that's okay. I agree that there's a line between being known as beautiful and as a sexy or anything like that. There's a line there, but again, she's not addressing the gray area in between that us conservative Christians have real questions about.
So what does modesty really mean? It means not wearing something that shows off every curve and crevice of your body when it might be better off left in the bedroom. It means not wearing something that could easily be mistaken for lingerie. It means not wearing something you'd be embarrassed to see your family in.
So I find it very interesting how she's describing modesty. If she's really talking to conservative Christian women like she should not be talking to the general population of Earth. She should be explaining herself in a way that applies to us, because as a conservative Christian woman, it is very obvious that I will not be dressing like a hooker. I will not be showing all of my assets to the public. That's quite obvious, and I think maybe what she's running into is the fact that modesty is a gray area. There are slight differences from person to person, culture to culture, and that's okay. There's also slight differences from person to person. For example, I know some Christian friends who are perfectly comfortable wearing normal swimsuit bottoms, but I just am not. And that's okay. It's okay to have some differences on that topic. It can have a lot to do with your upbringing, with your experiences in life, and a lot to do with your personal relationship with God, who might tell you certain things that you need to do or not do. It's so sad to see a conservative Christian woman addressing a topic that has been addressed so much in such a way that we've all heard before a million times. Like, when I look for videos like this, I'm looking for something different. I'm looking for something that has a heart and soul in it. It's unique. Maybe some words that you haven't heard before. I'm looking for someone who taps into the fact that modesty is a lot more than your clothing. It has a lot to do with a mindset and character trait. I feel that we are missing so much in that area, and it's frustrating and sad to see this. It feels quite religious. It feels quite regimented. That's not how I function. I believe in relationship with Jesus is the most important thing, and I believe that he cares about your clothing decisions and that you should talk to him about it. It's not about someone else lecturing you into submitting to this choice. And another point I wanted to add is, being a conservative Christian woman, I choose to be modest and to abstain from certain things in life, but it doesn't feel like a limitation to me. Like, you have to understand that. Like, as a conservative Christian, it is a blessing and honor, and it feels like a service to God in a way and glory to Him, any choice you make to honor Him. So anyone who doesn't have that relationship with God is, of course, going to look in and say, this is very limiting, this is very ridiculous. And that's why it's so important to keep that relationship aspect in your messages, because without the relationship with God, this is dead. It is dead law. That is not how the Christian church functions anymore. It's not how it should function. When Jesus came back, He came back to write the law on our hearts. Things are different now. I definitely have more thoughts to share on what modesty is and how, for example, how I practice modesty. If you are interested in seeing anything like that, let me know in the comments and I will consider making a video like that. I can react to more videos if you like. I can react to more Classically Abby. I mean, you can't resist her opera voice at the end of the video. Not gonna lie, it's beautiful, and we're gonna insert a clip here. But I just wanted to provide a perspective today of someone who identifies the same way as her, but who has some differences in opinion, just so that you guys could have a different view of conservative Christianity, and so that there could be more of a connection through the camera. So I hope that you've learned a few things about conservative Christianity. I hope that if you are a conservative Christian, that you appreciate the words I was able to give today. And let me know any other videos you want to see in the comments below. Meanwhile, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and God bless you. All I want for Christmas is a modest swimsuit. If you can find any, because they're really hard to find, trust me, I know. Do 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 do.